In this video, we shall be discussing about the tertiary structure of proteins. This is the third type of structure in the proteins. Now, what is a tertiary structure of protein? A tertiary structure of protein gives a specific three-dimensional shape. Students, be clear about this. It is a three-dimensional structure to the polypeptide chain. How the three-dimensional structure of polypeptide chain exists, this tells us about the various intramolecular forces of interactions that give rise to the twisting in this polypeptide chain. It involves the interactions and cross links between the different parts of the peptide chain. It is stabilized by number 1 hydrophobic and hydrophilic interactions, then comes the salt bridges, then the hydrogen bondings, and at last the disulfide linkages. So these are the various types of linkages. Also, sometimes ionic bonds are also present. That also helps to stabilize the structure of polypeptide chain. The interactions of the R groups give a protein its specific three-dimensional tertiary structures. So students, see here, we can easily identify the various forces of interaction. Number 1, the hydrophilic interactions. The hydrophilic interactions here we can easily identify. These are occurring between the water here. Then comes the hydrophobic interactions between the non-polar side chains. Thirdly comes the hydrogen bondings between the oxygen and hydrogen of the C and N terminals respectively. Then comes the salt bridges. These are the ionic forces of interactions here. Then comes the disulfide linkages here. So these give rise to a particular twisted structure which is three-dimensional in nature and known as tertiary structure of proteins. Now let us learn how to draw these structures. How to draw the tertiary structure of protein. If this comes in your examination, to draw the tertiary structure of protein, you must know how to draw it in the easy steps. Just have a look at this. We are now drawing the peptide chain structure. Now these are simply the peptide chains. Now it will be containing an alpha helix structure also inside it. Now this is the actual polypeptide chain. Now what are the various forces of interactions that comes into play? First of all, we will be representing the ionic bonds here. See, the ionic bonds, or sometimes also referred to as salt bridges. It comes into play by interaction between the two ions. Now here comes the ionic forces of interactions. I am representing with them in green lines. These are ionic bonds or the salt bridges. The next are the hydrophobic interactions. The hydrophobic interactions come into play between the two hydrophobic side chains. Just we have seen in the case of valine. Now these are, just see here, these are hydrophobic interactions. Hydrophobic interactions. Now the next are the disulfide linkages. How these disulfide linkages are formed. See here the free sulfur groups, if present, they give rise to the disulfide linkages. Here they give rise to the disulfide linkages. And last comes the hydrogen bonding. All of us are clear how these hydrogen bonds are formed. See here, between the oxygen and hydrogen. The oxygen comes from the C terminal and the hydrogen comes from the N terminal. So these are the various forces of interaction. Now you also know how to draw the three-dimensional structure of protein, the tertiary structure of protein. Now let us again revise what are these intermolecular forces of interactions. First one is the hydrophobic interactions. They occur between non-polar alkyl and aromatic groups of non-polar center that is repelled by water, such as in case of valine. Then comes the hydrophilic interactions, attractions between the polar and ionized groups and water on the surface of tertiary structures. Salt bridges or the ionic interactions, they occur between the ionized groups or the ionic bonds. Then comes the hydrogen bonds. We are clear that it occurs between the oxygen of the C terminal and hydrogen of the N terminal. Then the disulfide linkages, such as in case of, we can say, cysteine, it is containing free sulfur group, so these sulfur groups interact with each other to form a disulfide bond. The globular proteins have a compact and spherical shape and carry out synthesis, transport and metabolism in the cells, such as myoglobin, store and transport oxygen in the muscles. Now this is the structure of a myoglobin. Here is a pocket. This is the pocket for oxygen, where oxygen generally binds. In case of fibrous protein, they consist of long fiber-like shapes such as alpha keratins, which make up hair, wool, skin and nails. Such as feathers contains beta keratins with large amount of beta pleated sheet structures. Now this is the alpha helical structure of keratin. We had already discussed this. I hope students now the three-dimensional structure of proteins is clear to you. It contains of various interactions between the R groups, the hydrogens and oxygens. So try to draw this three-dimensional structure. This will help you a lot to gain marks in your examination.